Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone is trying to bring you down or challenge you? Have you wondered if there's a way to defeat your enemy without ever getting involved in a fight? What if I told you that the greatest victories aren't always the ones where you win physically, but the ones where you never even lift a finger? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us that true strength comes from within, and that we can overcome our enemies by mastering our minds, not our fists. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This means that instead of reacting to someone's negative behavior, you can rise above it and show them that their actions have no power over you. Stoics believe that by controlling your thoughts, emotions, and responses, you can destroy your enemy without ever engaging in a physical or emotional battle. So, in this video, we'll explore 7 Stoic ways to defeat your enemies by changing the way you think, act, and react. Let's dive into these powerful lessons and see how you can use them to protect your peace and win in life. The power of control. The first Stoic lesson is all about control. When faced with an enemy, the one who remains calm and composed holds the true power. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By controlling how you respond to any provocation, you refuse to let your enemy dictate your emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, you choose peace, and in doing so, you take away their power over you. Science shows that controlling our emotions leads to better decision-making and mental clarity. So, next time someone tries to provoke you, take a deep breath and remember, your response is what matters most. Recognizing your enemy's weakness. The best way to defeat your enemy is to understand them. Stoics believe that when we study others and understand their fears and weaknesses, we disarm them. As Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." Often, our enemies are driven by insecurities or fears that we can use to our advantage. By recognizing their vulnerabilities, you can neutralize their influence without needing to engage in conflict. This doesn't mean exploiting their weaknesses in a harmful way. Rather, it means seeing through their actions and understanding their true motivations. Silence is your weapon. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. In a world where everyone is quick to argue or retaliate, silence speaks volumes. "Silence is a source of great strength," said Lao Tzu, and this is a core Stoic principle. When your enemy tries to provoke you, don't fall into their trap. Let your silence show that their words hold no power over you. Science tells us that silence can confuse and frustrate an aggressor, leaving them with no way to engage with you. By not reacting, you take away their ability to get under your skin, proving that your peace cannot be disturbed, changing your perspective. Stoics believe that everything is about perspective. What seems like an attack may simply be an opportunity to grow. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Instead of viewing your enemy's actions as something personal, try seeing them as challenges to help you become stronger, more patient, and more resilient. Research in psychology supports this idea. Changing how we view difficult situations can reduce stress and help us approach challenges with a clear mind. So, rather than seeing your enemy as someone to fight, see them as someone who teaches you valuable lessons. The strength of indifference. A key Stoic idea is indifference to things outside our control. If you want to destroy your enemy without fighting, you must learn to be indifferent to their actions. As Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The more you depend on external things, like validation or approval from others, the more vulnerable you become. When you practice indifference, you show that nothing can disturb your peace, no matter what your enemy does. It's not about ignoring challenges, but rather about not letting them affect your emotional state. When you become indifferent to outside opinions, your enemies lose their power over you. Building your character. True strength lies in building a strong character. Stoicism teaches that we should focus on developing virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice. As Seneca said, a good character is not one that is built in a day, but a life's work. By continuously working on yourself and improving your character, you create a foundation that no one can shake. When your character is unbreakable, your enemies can do little to harm you. And when you remain grounded in your values, no one can take away your peace or self-respect. The power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the greatest weapons in the Stoic arsenal. Holding on to anger only gives your enemy control over you. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. When you forgive, you free yourself from the burden of hatred and resentment. Forgiving your enemy doesn't mean excusing their actions, but it means refusing to let them dictate your emotional state. Forgiveness helps you move forward without being weighed down by negative feelings. Studies show that forgiveness reduces stress and improves mental health, making it not only a moral choice, but a practical one for your well-being. To wrap up, remember that defeating your enemy doesn't always require a fight. In fact, the most powerful way to destroy your enemy is by mastering yourself. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you control your mind, emotions, and reactions, you become untouchable. By practicing the Stoic principles of control, understanding, silence, perspective, indifference, building character, and forgiveness, you transform your approach to conflict. You no longer react out of anger or fear, but instead, you rise above the situation. And in doing so, your enemy loses their power. Remember, true strength is not about winning battles with force, but about conquering your own mind. He who is brave is free, said Seneca. When you embrace these Stoic lessons, you become truly free, unaffected by those who wish to harm you. So, next time you face an enemy, take a step back and use the power of Stoicism to defeat them without ever lifting a finger.